Turning now to Wayne County, the federal investigation into government corruption has ended. Although a key aide to Robert Ficano was convicted, the former Wayne County executive was never charged. Ficano says his record and his, quote, good name have been cleared, but the collateral damage remains. Ficano lost his reelection bid. The failed jail project cost millions, and the county could run out of money by next year. So this came out this week that Bob Ficano was cleared. What was the first thing that crossed your mind, Nolan?
Well, it's an outrageous statement for him to say that his record's been vindicated, his name's been cleared. You look as the things you mentioned. This is a guy who took over a county that had a pension system 95% funded. It's 44% funded today and is a major cause of the county's financial problems. He gave away sweetheart pension deals to his cronies. He let one of his top aides, 41-year-old, 8 years on the job, go off and retire. Will draw over $100,000 in pensions out of that, or pension benefits out of that system for the rest of his life. He was outrageously reckless and just a terrible manager. Jail, the Guardian rehabilitation that went $35 million over. The airport race course, the horse racing course, $35 million wasted. It's just an abysmal record that now somebody else has to straighten out.
Well, I mean, I think his point, I'm not going to sit here and defend Ficano's record as county executive. I think his point, though, is his good name, quote unquote, is not in jeopardy. In other words, that he's not a crook and he's not going to be prosecuted as such, and he's entitled to that. I mean, anybody is entitled, of course, to the presumption of innocence unless something else is proven. There was no proof here that he did anything.
He defended his record, Steve.
He's trying to defend his record, and I don't agree with that. I mean, the meeting we had with Warren Evans last week reminded me absolutely of the meeting that we had 2.5 or 3 years ago with Dave Bing about the city's finances and where they were headed. Some of the same language was being used about not being able to make payroll, underfunded pensions, and healthcare liabilities. I mean, it's exactly the same picture, and Ficano is responsible for the depth of those problems.
So Warren Evans has finally gotten to the bottom of the hole. What he was talking about with us a couple of weeks ago, and he said we finally got about $70 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big problem for the county, and we've talked about it. But the question arose when this probe started, when this federal probe started, was Bob Ficano a crook or incompetent? And I think now we have the answer to that question. It was, there was no good choice, but at least now we know the answer.
All right, and we'll have to leave it there. So do you think, Nolan, next week you bring a spare jacket for Stephen to be able to?
I'm feeling nice and free here.
He's feeling relaxed.
I'm going to wear this every week.
Yeah, you're going to come in a T-shirt next week, right? You're just going to
I have a nice blue blazer in my closet.
There's something very workmanlike and blue collar about losing the jacket.
So start rolling up the sleeves.
That's
I want to see.
right,
All right, start rolling up the sleeves while we start rolling the credits, and that's going to do it for MiWeek. Thanks so much for joining us. We will continue our conversation online right after the show, so make sure you go to MiWeek.org for an extra segment that you won't see on TV. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter during the week, so make sure you connect with us there. I'm Christy McDonald. For all of us at Detroit Public TV, we will see you next week. Take care.